So without further ado, I hope you guys like this half as much as I enjoyed making it. Make sure you guys hit all those love buttons for your boy, and we're going to get straight into it.
Do what black people think about white people.
Where you see that at?
Go back.
Ooh, that won't be good. Okay. Jubilee is about, two different sets of people, two different groups of people, and they react, or they try to reach a middle ground on stuff. They have different things that they do, like in-second decisions, lie detector, stuff like that. So make sure you guys check their channel out if you are interested in stuff like that. We're probably only going to react to portions of their videos today because, they worked hard on making it, getting the people out there, editing it, and I would like to show them support by having you guys support them if you guys are seeing this now or in the future. But without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. They comment all of that stuff. The prompt is, what do black people think about white people? We'll get straight into it. Let me get a drink and we'll get straight into it. Alright, so let's do this.
I act differently around people who aren't my race. 3, 2, 1.
I think the most important thing is just to authentically be yourself, and I don't think being around people who don't look like you should be a reason for you to act any different.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's like within the confines of like.
Just so you guys know, we're going to hear their points, and then after we hear their points, I'm going to pause the video, and then me and her will discuss their points.
The workforce.
I was thinking code switching.
Because if you show up to a meeting talking like this, they're like, uneducated, got it. They'll use the slang to sell the products and to tweet and to get the clicks and stuff. But like as soon as a worker's there who's authentically from the area and talking like people from the area, it's like, ooh, we don't like that. Because it's always like, well, be yourself until you yourself. And then it's like, ooh, I don't like yourself. Unfortunately, in a lot of the areas of work, it's like you almost have to like lie to these people to be like, I'm a robot. I'll like, I love your company. Yeah. It's sick. It's sick. But it's like, do you have to do,
It's true. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like code.
What do you think about that? That shit made me so mad I had to spit into the goddamn ashtray. See, I don't agree with that. I think that most people find it unattractive when you go on there talking like this, you know what I'm saying? Let me go, I'm going to just explain it to you, mute yourself real quick. I'm going to explain it to you, right?
But if that's how you talk.
Like, I'm going to explain it basically, I'll just share my mic with you. But if basically how I'm going to explain it is like a scenario. Ready? This is a scenario. We're at a job interview, right? Or not a job interview, we're at a sales occasion. Something we have to go talk to somebody
Like
about.
a container party.
Yeah, right? And I'm sitting there, just chilling, talk about nothing. And I'm sitting there with a potential customer, and I'm like, alright, you know what I'm saying? So, this is your deal. This is the best deal I could get you, dog. I went and talked to my best connects. I went and got you everything you needed. I served you up right. This is the best you need right here. You ain't ever got to worry about reing up again. This is the best you need. Versus, alrighty, sir. I went ahead and made sure all your paperwork is filed. Your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed. I made sure that you have this sale applied to your price. And on top of this, if you have any questions in the future, you can make sure that you don't need to restock any of your supply. You just give us a call and we'll take care of everything. If you have any questions, make sure you hit our customer service team up and we will be able to assist you better further in the future with your issues. Boom. Which one sounded more attractive? The first one or the second one? If you are somebody that's sitting there as a prospective customer, you're about to spend your hard-earned money on something, you want to hear the presentation in what way? Tell me.
The second one is definitely way more professional, but also you kind of have to know your clientele.
Yeah, I mean, it is I can
For
see
them
that.
to kind of trust you a little bit more. If you talk the first way to somebody who actually talks that way, they'll kind of, I guess, trust you a little bit more. But like, all right, you know what? You guys are like kind of closer friends.
Yeah,
They trust you, and he wants to give you your money because he likes you.
Well,
I
I
wouldn't
get that.
necessarily call it being fake, but I would, know your clientele. Sometimes you have to tweak yourself to be around certain people.
I mean, you're right about that, because when I was in sales and when I worked at Terminex, it was like that, especially because I didn't have to worry about,
With clients,
Yeah,
you would
like-
act more professional and cleaned up, but with the coworkers, we're all a little unprofessional.
and not even just coworkers, like some of my clients. Like I had a client that tipped me in marijuana and mushrooms. So, you know what I'm saying? Like we talked, like I talked to you guys on stream, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the most literal person on stream, but that's just because I'm hanging out. That's what I do in my spare time. This is literally me in real life. I'm not even acting anyway. But, that's just the way I handle myself. I can see where you're coming from, but I don't see where they're coming from. Their problem is that, or his problem was that pretty much you have to feel, or not you have to, but he feels that people have to be fake and not be themselves, when really that should just be another part of yourself.
Right? Because one part, you have to have a professional part.
Like you can't just be all the way street. You have to be corporate too. Like you have to think of the best interest of the company. You can't just think individually. This is what I had an issue with a lot of the things that people were saying about the rainbow community or whatever. And I'm not going to get delved too deep, but the point on it is that a lot of people don't really have an issue with being rainbow in particular. It's more so like they have an issue with, like, it's a deep rooted issue in their soul about civilization, right? Because civilization is integral part of humanity being able to survive and be the top player on this earth. And the only way to make a strong enough civilization is if you garner kids, indoctrinate those kids in the civilization's beliefs, and that civilization becomes 2 times stronger because now that civilization becomes as part of that person's identity. Now that we are individuals in a nation, we tend to not really care about the overall. We only really care about ourselves. And because of that, I think that it really correlates to a lot of things that we see in reality, especially with the fruits. That's just what I see. But other than that, he has a point, but his point is kind of shallow in a way, meaning that it's not really something that's a big deal. You have to have 2 parts of yourself. You have to have the part of yourself that can relay information in a responsible and articulate manner. And then you have to have parts of yourself where you are actually, yourself. You hang out. Some people are built that way and they only have one part of themselves. And other people are just like, you know what? This is just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to fucking do what I want. And then other people are like, you know what? Feels right. You have to have 2 different personalities in today's civilization. You cannot just be yourself all the damn time. because not everybody's just going to like you.
That's why I have blue hair, because I have to act professional in a certain way at work, and this is my way of expressing my personality.
Exactly. So we'll just continue the video. We'll see what they have to say.
Switching is one part, but also like there's certain parts in my own community that aren't accepted, that when I'm around different people that look like me, I can express myself differently. Like I feel like if I talk a little proper, sometimes I get a little slack for it from my side of the family. But when I go out into the world, sometimes I like EDC, I like tech music, I like, you know what I'm saying?
See, for me, I feel like it has nothing to do with race. It more has to do with just being professional. Like if I'm at work, then I'm obviously
I like
gonna be a
this
little more
dude.
proper, you know, a little bit less slang and all of that, and just more careful with my rhetoric. But I don't think it has to do with race. The only thing I will say is, like, I work in political media, so I'm on camera a lot. So people already know who I am and what I'm coming with. But that being said, it's like when I'm around other black people, because I'm a Republican, sometimes they tend to be really standoffish with me or think that I don't understand the culture and all this different stuff. So sometimes I have to feel it out, like, are these people who are just gonna call me an Uncle Tom? Or are these people like I can actually just keep it all the way real with? So that's the only time I feel like I act different because of race.
You know, I also work in political media, but as a leftist, and I honestly feel like I've definitely benefited from being able to be in spaces where I've been able to be authentically myself, and I definitely think that's a privilege, especially where I like grew up is just like something that's regularly happening that people have to go through. But personally, I think I've been able to, especially now in a business side and now my...
Well, you know how I feel about her kind. It ain't the skin. It's the amount of folds. But you know what I'm saying? The Republican dude, he carried himself very nicely. I like the way he spoke about that. That's my exact outlook on that. That's exactly how I feel about that. This lady right here, sorry to freeze your face like that. But what you're saying is like, I get it. I mean, I'm black. I get it. I enjoy it too. When I was working at a concrete factory, I was able to talk however the hell I wanted because I'm black. Everybody I worked with was black, and we were all black in that same facility. So everything there, you know, we kind of had an understanding on things. It kind of worked how the streets work. But when I work with people now or companies now, because I own my own business and I deal with different races all the damn time, it is different. Like, I can't just go in there acting a certain way. People like to prejudge people, and it is not something that, you know, comes easy to change, because that is a way for survival. Like, that's the only... think about it. It's 1846. You only see a shadow. You are walking with your family. You see a shadow fucking 10 miles out. All you see is a silhouette of some person walking towards you. And the next thing you know, that person is getting bigger. And he's getting bigger. And now he's looking more of a threat. Now you are thinking for the next 4 hours, getting closer to this person, what is about to happen? Am I about to lose my life? Am I about to go ahead and do this and that? The closer that person gets, the more that you can see different traits about this person. Okay, he has red skin. Okay, I have white skin. They're not the best fans of us. Okay, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Okay, I think I'm going to go this way. Let's cut this right now, because even though the chance might be low, there is still a chance of me losing my life. Animals do it. We're not the only people that do it, you know, or the only species that does it. It is a known way to kind of keep yourself from dying. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way I see it. Like, and we still think that way in our dinosaur brains a little bit, because we don't really distinguish race like that. We really only think this way because it is like programmed in us by the way life is. If we were to walk towards something and we seen that it had 4 legs before we came up to it, and before it noticed us and our scent, we could fucking walk the other way, and the only way that we would probably run into that being or creature is if it tracked us down. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way it goes. Like, that's why civilization works the way it does. If you look different, act different, you know, are different, then people tend to be a little bit more uncomfortable around you. And that
Shun
just
you.
and that's not really like something that we can help, but mentally tell ourselves to ignore those preconceived notions to try to be open-minded and optimistic, which is a noble way to be, but a lot of people default on that prehistoric way of thinking because it's easier, you know. But what's your take on it? I want to hear from you a little bit on it. You don't have a take.
Nope.
All right,
Not
that's
on
fine.
this one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Place I feel like I don't have to adapt my language to make people like respect me or understand where I'm trying to come from, you know?
At what point is it like, damn, we can't even really have conversations without buttoning up and being like, oh, this is how we have to talk like this because so they'll listen, or like regardless as
But do you
people.
think that's racial, or do you think that's
I think I don't know that it's because I'm right. I know where you're going.
We've seen you.
I know. I think I know exactly where it's going. I don't think it's intrinsically rooted in race, but I think just the way the social genetic makeup of people are. I think just by way of people of specific races speaking a certain way or being perceived a certain way, it tends to be more often than not rooted in race, based off of like urban Black Americans.
Yeah.
I think most people have barriers they put up.
I can see that. All right, I could take that.
Yeah.
He acknowledged where it was ludicrous, and he still acknowledged his valid point. And that's, I could deal with that. That dude, I could deal with who he is. That's nice that he actually thinks that way. I'm kind of wondering what the white lady's going to say that's standing next to the black people over there and agree. But yeah, let's hear these other two.
Up when they get introduced to a new group. I went on disagree instead of strongly disagree because like there have been situations where I get introduced to a group of someone of a different race. And like,
Hey!
Yeah, at first I'm pulled back, but once I get comfortable with them, those walls come down, and then yeah, that's where my true self comes out.
For me, it really depends because I've been shooting music videos in the hood, so I really.
But I guess that, and yeah, he's been around some sketchy motherfuckers. But the the dude before him, I guess I could see that too. Because white people definitely walk on eggshells around people with color nowadays. You can see it around a lot of different things. Ain't nobody trying to lose their job over something stupid. So, a lot of white people tend to treat black people how everybody treats women in the workplace. Yeah, you stay over here. I don't want to talk to you privately. I don't want to be in an office with you. I don't want to do anything with you because you could say I did something to you. And then as soon as you say that, it don't matter if we got cameras. It don't matter if it's true or not. I lose my job. I lose everything I worked for all my life. I lose everything in the snap of a second because you wanted to step up over me. You don't just step on me. You make me crumble like a Tomb Raider puzzle. So, yeah, I get it.
I really need to basically adopt myself to become a black person. So for me, it's not a problem like meeting new races. I always like vibe and chill with people.
Do you think adapting yourself to those different ethnicities is like something that's required to foster like a successful relationship?
Like, I would say it's really more for your survival because, like if you are the only white guy on set and like there's like people with like guns and stuff and you just really need to like fit in and just be chill with it.
Mm-hmm. You're from the Ukraine, right? Do you feel like not having grown up with American culture as a whole?
I can see how that's intimidating. You see a bunch of niggas that can barely read holding AK-47s and pistols and shit. You're like, do I feel comfortable? They do have a lot of money they're paying me for this, but do I feel comfortable right now? Fuck no. They need to hurry up. Let's get this going. I'm charging double.
And then especially not growing up with our subcultures. Do you feel like that's influenced the way you move when you're moving between our subcultures?
My like mentality is kind of mixed because like from the age of like 13, I really started to learn English. From that, I really learned a lot. Like I really got the American like mentality more. And basically like my mentality is like mixed because like in Ukraine, if we see a black person, we call them the N-word. And from our side, it's not offensive. Like we say it not from a offensive way, but some people can because, you know, like you don't see a black person there.
I can understand that because I went to a school back when I was growing up.
He was like, yeah, when we're in Ukraine, we're just like, nigga. That's so fun. We're giving them all that money. Them leftists are fighting so hard to give them all that goddamn money. And when they see black people, they're like, ooh, nigga.
Like people do with midgets.
Oh, man.
And when I first saw the first white kid, I was like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was a white girl with, like, red hair, and I was like, whoa, I've never seen this before. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand that, like, when a white person comes to a predominantly black group, then you're going to try your best to adapt to that, to our culture, to be like, okay, hey, I get along with you. This is my way of, like, telling you, like, hey, this is, I'm, like, extending an olive branch, basically. So, yeah.
Personally, not to sound triggered, but I just don't like the notion that you're becoming a black person by pretending to be hood or adopting a hood
just like
mentality,
this
because not all black people are hood, not all black people are ghetto. I understand what you're trying to say, and I don't know if it's a language barrier, so I don't want to like come at you like you're saying something racist, but I just really am anti-black people being defined as ghetto and hood, because there's a lot of classy black people out there.
Hey, what's going on, the Clamster 10?
Afro-Americans. And it really like depends
And then
on,
we got,
like, where
what's
you
that?
grew up in.
Beef,
Also,
Fuma,
if you are
beef,
ghetto like me, you can
United
also be all
States
those
mean
things too.
score.
White people also
Okay, I can't pronounce your name,
race-based
but that
prejudice.
was funny. You guys are making fun of the way I laugh. That's kind of fucked
So
up,
you guys
though.
probably don't know.
I can't control that.
I've lived in Asian countries. In Japan, there are certain restaurants that you could walk.
No, we're not watching the Cosby Show. We I don't know. It's 2024, bro. The only way you know is if I tell you. So right now, she's a gerbil and I'm an attack helicopter.
Whoa, why am I a gerbil?
A gerbil?
You just call me a gerbil.
Beefus McSteefus. Boo boo! Get the fuck out of here. This is that grade A. Ga. This ain't even got a name. This is how legit this shit is. Ain't it? Because when you hit it, you say. Yeah. So, yeah. Liking that beautiful ass hair. Thank you.
It's all braided and
No,
nice.
she's talking about yours. I'm smoking some of that cheetah piss.
Steve Urkel pick.
No, it's not grade A poo poo. It's that grade A.
Walk in.
Nah, but we're watching Jubilee right now. It's like race-based questions and stuff like that.
You can see people dining in the restaurant, and they're gonna tell you they're closed, just because you're white or you're American. So the idea that white people can't really experience racism kind of contradicts the very definition of the word, because the definition of racism is prejudice based on one's skin color. White people do experience it, but to a different degree.
While I do think that our white brothers and sisters in Christ can experience racial-based prejudice, I don't want to overlook the nuance of that.
I kind of half don't like this
it's not
dude.
necessarily rooted in anything systematic or anything
I like
that's
his
going to
t-shirt,
actually
though.
have long-term.
I like his t-shirt. I like his shoes. But I don't like him or his pervert stash. Okay, I just don't. There's something about his face that just bothers me. He's one of those people. That chick. It's the angle. But yeah, there's something about this dude I just don't fuck with. He just got some vibe to him. There's just like, I'm fucking annoying. You know what I'm saying? This dude.
Effects, knock on wood, that are gonna like debilitate a race or inhibit their chances or possibility of succeeding or being seen as better than POC.
I definitely think it's a non-issue, racism towards white people, especially specifically, I want to, like, in America. I don't think it's something that needs to be highlighted as it.
All them white people stood over there smacking. That's the best comment of the night. That's the best fucking comment of the night. See, I said something about her. My girl looked at me like I was 3 times fucked up. But I take the Andrew Tate type of stance on these people. I might be not the most fit, but if you look like you leak grease, you need not to be on camera. But that's what I just think. I'm going to get back in video.
Issue that is a constant threat to
So I guess
lives,
it's the question, real quick. The question is, white people also experience race-based prejudice. I can agree on that, especially because I've seen more and more black people and Spanish people be more racist against white people than I've seen against any other race. And it's like blatant racism to the point where it's like uncomfortable. Like, it's just like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
day well-being, progress, and success in life in general, because it's not something that's going to inhibit you, and you don't have to walk out your door and think, I'm about to be attacked, like people of color do every single day.
I do agree that white people haven't been put through centuries of hell like black people were, but prejudice towards white people 100% exists. Like whether it's in TV, if it's in movies, like if you watch predominantly black media, there's a lot of roasting towards
hell
white
no, they
people
don't.
the way around
Listen.
today. Then you go on social media like TikTok.
Yeah, the comments are too much right now, bro.
Where they're attacking white people for things that their ancestors did 200 years ago. There are societal benefits at this point for being a person of color, and that those negatively affect white people. Like if you look at from diversity quotas in the workplace, all these different things, they lower the bar for black people, but then increase the bar for white people. However, I think where some of the issue comes is because a lot of marginalized groups and people of color back in the day went through so much worse that it's easy for us to discredit the prejudice that white people now deal with today.
I think like on an individualistic level, like yeah, white people get hate all the time.
I don't like this dude neither.
This
dude confuses my brain. Every time I look at him, I'm like, is that a lesbian?
The big picture,
can't
it's a
say
little
that
bit
word.
different. And like talking about like, having, racist content for anyone out there, it's like I would have to go and seek that out.
You paused on the back fat. Only back titties.
That was good. No, it's the one that fucking Clamster said. He said, yo, her undies shit stained or what? Oh, man, that's barbecue sauce, my nigga.
Coming to me. Versus against white people. I would have to like, look for a video of being like people who hate white people.
I agree.
Like versus like Twitter.
If y'all ever worked at McDonald's or something, you know the big block grease? Dump them out, shorty. Yo, you know the 2 big blocks of grease that come in the fast food restaurants so they can like restock their oil or whatever? That's what I think of when I see an obese ass. Like
Lard.
2 big fucking squares of that shit right next to each other in a pair of cloth. separating them.
Oh no.
Oh shit. I think I sit in the back.
I didn't have to scroll very long before
I
I
see.
saw some person making some out-of-pocket comment about
And regulation
some shit.
being lifted so people can see that even more so.
Right.
Absolutely, that's 100% right. And even saying
You
that
only
about-
sit in the middle so you can meet black men. No, you got to say it with the A because you're only 3%. But I don't care what you say. It's more the people that's going to care about that more than me. Soul Glow. She looked like she is thinking about it. Sub for the...
Actions,
Has Shorty been
statistically, in all
blacked?
favor of white people, white women.
I don't know, bro. We
More
got a
from-
kid,
from
so I don't know.
colleges than
I've been
any
trying to
other
cure
demographic,
racism
so I
for a
don't-
while
I also
now.
don't think that's fair to say, but I definitely get what you mean. Again, I think it's the prejudice is still there, though.
And I will say that black people do deal with prejudice. I think every
I like the
demographic
dude
deals
right there
prejudice.
with the
There
white
are
shirt.
Racist people everywhere. Like
White dude with the button up, like, blazer. I like the way he speaks. He speaks very articulate. Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. And he's not, like, sounding like he's just reaching for straws neither.
Like, I just don't think systemic
like his
racism is
sweater.
an issue anymore in
I like
today's
it.
society.
It's
But
something
I
I
do
would
think
wear.
that there are racist people out there.
I think that there's a really important distinction. Our language is constantly evolving, and you were talking about the definition of racism. Our societal definition has changed to include a systemic part of it. And I completely disagree with this idea that people of color don't have systemic things against them still. Because the fact that we still have the KKK, the fact that we still have these things, and they are in positions of power. As long as that exists, and as long as that's a part of our country's like makeup,
He
right
black,
now,
you
which it
called
is,
him white.
and that's our power.
No, I'm talking about his jacket, not his skin color. Motherfucker in the green hat charged up. A hard R like go.
I don't feel like you can honestly deny systemic racism against the black community, which is why prejudice
Cops is out fucking with
different
people.
than racism. I don't think white people can experience racism in this country, but we can.
That's a tow
prejudice
truck.
Yeah, you don't
based
see
on
the police
societal
right there?
definitions we now use.
Being sexually unattracted to a race is racist.
What do you think about that one?
Sorry.
It's on the fucking screen.
I was being nosy. I was looking out the window. Because I know exactly who that is. Oh, they're going upstairs.
So what do you think about that one?
No.
No, I don't think so neither.
It's just kind of like you like what you like. Some people have a type, and you just kind of can't be mad that you're not somebody's type. You're somebody else's type.
I knew you was going to say that, though, because you told me the first week you met me, I don't date black people.
It just wasn't my thing.
And I said, oh, yeah? Well, I'm super black. But, yeah, I struggle with this one, to be honest with you. When I was growing up, I think my answer would have changed from how it is now. I don't really care about that no more. If I got meat and it's a girl looking for meat, 9 times out of 10, if I talk correctly and I come across nicely, she's gonna give me a chance in some way. These, some people just aren't, though, and it's based off of how they want to live their life, how they perceive you're gonna live your life. Like I said earlier in the stream, for the ones that weren't here, anytime people, kind of prejudge you or have preconceived notions. Sorry if you guys heard the tow truck, but if anybody judge you or have preconceived notions about you, it's not because they are quote unquote racist all the time. It's more so because they want to see, or they just don't want to get harmed themselves. It's a biological trait in all humans everywhere to look at something and prejudge it before you come in contact with that thing or person or place, so that way you don't have a possibility for death. We are humans, we like to survive, and that's just the way it is. So we'll continue.
I think where the line gets drawn is when if a white male was sitting there swiping and he's just like, I don't like black girls, they're all ugly. They have too big of lips. I think that's where the line gets drawn. But you can't really help what you're attracted to. Like my fiance is Mexican, and it's like I like him for who he is, not how he looks.
I think that we are conditioned to be attracted and to respond to people we grow up and around with. So homogeneously, we grow up with people who look like us. So when you move into dating and things like that, statistically, you're going to be attracted to people that you grew up seeing, right? However, when you are discrediting a certain race for whatever reason based off their ethnicity, meaning everybody who did exist, is existing, and will exist from that race, you are not feeling anything. Cute, I don't control your body or your thoughts, but on one hand, I'm like, let's maybe unpack that. Also, where's my camera? To all the girls that's putting in
I knew it! I knew I didn't like this nigga. Look at that shit. Look at that. He got fingernails the same color as my girlfriend's hair. Get the fuck out of that shit.
For me, I think that like
That nigga is somebody that says, I like both. Listen, bro, you just nasty. You spreading shit to niggas that don't like both.
we're talking about conditioning and how we grew up, right? If you go to like South Africa, for instance, which within some of our lifetimes had apartheid.
She has a nice
If you
voice.
grow up in that, especially as a black person, where you're constantly being mistreated by every single white person, and you're conditioned to be like, white person, no thank you. I don't think that's racist.
I agree, and I did not grow up in South Africa with apartheid.
Yeah.
However, like I said,
used it
the
at
nickname
school.
of my town was Clancy. Like a lot of my interactions growing up were incredibly racist, and I'm dating a white guy. So I totally get what you mean. I don't want to discredit black people or anyone who's had those kind of situations because it's not that they're.
That's the funny thing that gets me with these leftist chicks. Because they're all about race, 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 race. I'm the next Malcolm X, but they only date outside the race. Why is it that you date outside the race? It's probably because black people also made fun of you for being the way you are. You're very intelligent. It sounds the way you are. You know, but you just are using that intelligence for dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that.
Not dating white people, it's
Yeah.
definitely, it's more like they're cautious.
I think you used the perfect word earlier. Is it conditioned or?
I was thinking about it on the terms of me being a black woman. I feel like it's a lot different when it is a black woman going into dating someone that is not of their race. I can tell you from my experience with dating Hispanic men, white, whatever, they've only seen Jerry Springer and Maury. So it's like they have a whole different idea of what a black woman is. Like
I'm telling you now, if that's your only notion of what a black woman is, you ain't never gonna have a black woman in your life. Because you'll be like, listen, no, I am straight. Pew! Fucking.
like before my husband changed
What is
the
burning?
lock, one of the comments made to me was he was afraid of me going
Candle
to his
went
house
out.
with braids in my hair. Because then they would assume that I was a different kind of girl instead of looking at me for who I am.
I have been denied access because of my race.
No, never, ever, ever have been denied access because of my race ever in my life. I've only been able to get opportunities, if anything, because of my race. And, you know, I felt like that was unfair to my peers. So anytime I got an opportunity, the first person I would try to get in there with me is a person that I knew wanted that opportunity, tried really hard and couldn't get it. So, you know, the first time they got a chance for a slot or anything, I tried to make that right because I knew that it wasn't right that I was just getting that just because of who I am. You know what I'm saying? Okay. His mom was getting in his ass. I was wondering what was going boop boop in my head. But yeah, you know, that's just what it is.
I can go anywhere, I can sit down anywhere, and
I mean, I can't say I've been denied access anywhere, but I've definitely been bullied because of my color.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go ahead and explain it more, huh?
am not going to be.
It was just a group of girls and they just didn't like me.
Why not?
I have no idea. Because it was in middle school and my two best friends became best friends and then dropped me. So I just had no friends and didn't like hang out with anybody. And they were just in a group of like 4 and they just didn't like me. I don't know. I stayed to myself pretty much.
Mm. Looks like we got kicked off of the YouTube. Let me check. Let me check it out real quick. Got you.
I don't know what any of that means.
I know what it means. Your stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright issues. Okay, so I fixed the stream. We should be back on YouTube. Let me double check real fast, and we'll do another video. Just because we're getting issues with copyright on this one, even though it's obviously fair use. I've only been on this video for a little bit now, and yeah, it's obviously fair use. We've talked mostly through it. You know, that's just the way it is with this sometimes, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and double check the YouTube real fast and make sure that I'm on there. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. And make sure with my other account. Yep. So we're back on. We're going to go check out another one. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like that, comment, that, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you guys on the next one.